Hello students, we will talk about parasympatholytics, the drugs which bind to the cholinergic receptors and block the action of acetylcholine. We call them as anticholinergic drugs. These are also known as muscarinic receptor antagonist or parasympatholytics. If you see the classification, there are three classes. Natural, we have atropine, scopolamine, which is also called hyoscine. In semisynthetic, we have homatropine, atropine sulfate, hyoscine butyl bromide, ipratropium bromide. In synthetic, we have the mydriatics, which are cyclopentolate tropicamide. Then quaternary compound. First is antisecretory antispasmodic, like we have quaternary compound like propanthalin. Then tertiary amines, we have dicyclomine, pyrazipine. Third category is vesicoselective, like oxybutylin, and D is anti-Parkinsonian, like piperidine, benzotropine, etc. We'll first talk about atropine. Atropine is obtained from Atropa belladonna and Datura stramonium. Scopolamine is obtained in the shrub Hyoscyamus niger. Now, when we talk about atropine, this is consisting of equal parts of D and L hyoscine. The active ingredient of scopolamine is L-hyoscine. Atropine is composed of tropic acid, which is active part, and tropine, which is inactive. Tropanol is inactive. Now, the mechanism of action of atropine is it is a competitive antagonist of actions of acetylcholine and other muscarinic receptors. So, for example, you have cardiac muscarinic receptors, a blocked exocrine gland, smooth muscle ganglia, intramural neurons are blocked. That indicates muscarinic receptors are constitutively active, and the most drugs that block the action of acetylcholine are inverse agonist. We'll talk about pharmacological action of atropine. Initially, atropine produces bradycardia, and say larger doses, larger doses will produce tachycardia. The salivary glands, if you see the salivary secretions, which is induced by parasympathetic stimulation, atropine will block these secretions, and then we have a drug like pilocarpine. The action is opposite of this; it produces salivation. We call it as silogogue. Then we have the other secretions like nose, pharynx, bronchi will be reduced, and also atropine will reduce the secretion of the sweat. Then gastric secretions. Atropine is not affecting the peristaltic movement, but it relieves the colic hypermotility, and it can reduce the volume and the total acidity of the gastric secretions. Then we have it produces biliary tract. It produces antispasmodic action on the biliary tract, and bronchi, the smooth muscles are relaxed. Urinary bladder, the tone of urinary bladder is reduced, and that tends to produce urinary retention. The atropine, this is an important effect that it produces mydriasis. Atropine causes increase in the focal length of the lens, so individual can see object at long distance, and he suffers from photophobia. That means he cannot constrict the pupil for seeing near objects or in response to bright light. So this process is known as paralysis of accommodation. So on local installation, atropine will produce mydriasis and cycloplegia, and it can cause increase in the intraocular pressure tension. Then body temperature slightly it is increased on taking higher dosage of atropine, say 1 to 2 degree Fahrenheit. CNS, in therapeutic dosage, atropine stimulates the medullary vagal nuclei, and we'll see the pharmacokinetics. These are well absorbed orally and upon parenteral administration. Then the contraindications contraindicated in the patient with the glaucoma, because we have just seen that it increases intraocular tension. So second one is pyloric stenosis or prostatic hypertrophy, and Atropine sulfate injection should be used with caution in all individuals over 40 years of age. So in general, the uses of atropine is as a biliary antispasmodic, pre-anesthetic medication, organophosphorus poisoning in peptic ulcers to reduce the secretions of acid, as you've just seen, and the colic of gastrointestinal tract or renal colic. Use as a mydriatic and cyclodelagic for ophthalmology, and is used in the treatment of Parkinsonism and to control the enuresis in children. Now we'll talk about scopolamine. This is also known as hyoscine. This is a belladonna alkaloid, which is again mechanism of action is similar to atropine. This is a competitive inhibitor at the postganglionic muscarinic receptors of the parasympathetic nervous system, and it will bind to the muscarinic receptors and prevent acetylcholine from binding to and activating to the receptors. The pharmacological action, this is having same properties as that of atropine, but some different to some different degree or different extent. Say the vagolytic action of scopolamine is less than that of atropine, and as its effect in producing mydriasis. Also, atropine, whereas atropine produces stimulation of CNS, scopolamine depresses the cerebral cortex. And pharmacokinetics is well absorbed by the transdermal patch. Oral bioavailability is 27%, and 0.25% solution is rapidly absorbed after ocular administration. So what are the uses of scopolamine? It is used to treat motion sickness and post-operative nausea and vomiting. Also sometimes before surgery to decrease saliva, and it is used to treat the pain and the discomfort caused by abdominal cramps, menstrual cramps, and also it is effective at preventing the bladder spasms. Then we have ipratropium bromide. Ipratropium bromide is a synthetic ammonium compound which is similar to atropine, used as a bronchodilator in the management of cholinergic mediated bronchospasm associated with COPD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or also in the treatment of rhinorrhea associated with the common cold and with the allergic or seasonal rhinitis. Again, the mechanism of action, this anticholinergic agents, it will block the muscarinic cholinergic receptors, results in the decrease in the formation of cyclic GMP, that is guanosine monophosphate. And we have the brands of ipratropium bromide as Ipravent 20 microgram and 40 microgram per meter dose in L 3 to 4 times daily. Then we have the quaternary compounds like propanthalin. This is anticholinergic drug that reduces the effect of acetylcholine, and the mechanism is it acts on the specific cholinergic muscarinic receptors, the cholinereceptor sites, and directly acting on the smooth muscles. Now, this is propanthalin is used for the treatment of enuresis and to relieve the spasm of the stomach, intestine, or the bladder. It is also having direct relaxant action on the smooth muscle. So it is used to treat or prevent spasm in the muscle of the GIT or the irritable bowel syndrome. The dosage 15 to 30 milligram orally for peptic ulcer and gastritis. And we have dicyclomine, that is an anticholinergic drug, a medication that reduces the effect of acetylcholine, and the mechanism of action is in two ways: specific anticholinergic effect, antimuscarinic at the acetylcholine receptor site, and the direct effect is upon smooth muscles. Now this is again for the treatment of functional bowel or irritable bowel syndrome, including colicky pain. So you can say this is used as antispasmodic and urinary incontinence. So it is anticholinergic drug which is having direct relaxing effect on smooth muscles. and it also inhibits gastrointestinal propulsive motility and decreases the gastric acid secretion and controls the excessive pharyngeal, tracheal, and bronchial secretions. We have Bentil as a brand name, or dicyclomine capsule. We have pyrazipine. Pyrazipine is a drug which is belonging to the group of medications called anticholinergic or antispasmodics. The same mechanism of action, that is muscarinic receptor antagonist binding to the muscarinic acetylcholine receptors, and this is indicated for peptic ulcer, gastric ulcer, duodenal ulcer. Now the action is due to the cytoprotective effect, beneficial in the prevention of duodenal ulcer recurrence. It also used to relieve the cramps, the spasms, stomach, intestine, and the bladder. The dosage 100 to 150 mg per day orally. Gastrozepine is the brand.